Got up this morning, I crawled out of my bed. My back was really aching, my eyes were cherry red. It's just the morning after, I don't remember who was here. I'll eat a slice of that cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. I got that not so fresh feeling from my head down to my toes. I think I had a good time, heaven only knows. It's just the morning after. Lord, it's funky up in here. Help me now, yeah. I'll eat a slice of cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer.
Yeah, you got it now. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is JP. Welcome to the Morning After with JP and Big Joe. I'm JP. Usually I have my man Big Joe right there, but he's gone. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Thank you for those who have tuned in live. Thank you to those who are tuning in during the replay. We know a lot of you watch the show via YouTube on the replay. Thank you very much. Look at that. Joe's gone. He's usually right there. And this is normally the time where I go, "Hey, Joe, how you doing?" I think I heard something. You there, Joe?
I'm there.
He is there. Video's gone, though. There he is. We are off to a good start.
Okay.
Your video is very choppy, but your audio seems to be okay, and that's mostly what we're doing here. We're just talking.
Is it really?
Yeah. I know the air up there in Northern California is rather thick right now, so, it's probably that.
Okay, all right.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. We've got some little technical issues to start off the show. That's a great thing. Anyway, welcome. It is Monday. We're doing the Morning After again. It's almost the end of August. September's about to start. About to get spooky up in here. Gonna start putting some orange stuff around the house. Is September 1st the right day to begin putting up fall stuff, Joe?
I mean, if you really wanted to. I mean, I know people have been counting it down like it's Christmas.
I really want to.
I mean, you're more than welcome to if you want to.
But you wouldn't, right? Is that what you're telling me?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not a big celebrator of Halloween. And it's not that I dislike it, it's just that's a day that I work.
You're so used to working on the 31st, you're like, why bother? Why bother getting the stuff out? Why bother dressing up?
The kids' moms have always been into it, so like whatever they needed to get that done, but just that's a day that all the kids ask for the day off, and I would say the only holidays that I refuse to work are the 4th of July and Christmas Eve.
Why the 4th of July?
Because I want to take my kids to go see the fireworks.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So 4th of July evenings, no go for you.
I want the whole day off. If I'm going to be forced to work New Year's Eve, work, the night before Thanksgiving, work all those nights because everyone asked the day off, I am not working those days.
Well, you're a savage taking one for the team. You're like, I will work. I'm happy to work. Give it to me. It
was just kind of, I've always been in those positions to where no one showed up. Can you do it? I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Look at you. You're a
I want to take Cinco de Mayo off too and party with all my friends who don't celebrate the holiday the way that it should be, or St. Patrick's Day,
You celebrated with us last year a little bit. Do you remember you had this sweet airbender
I made
costume?
That.
I know you made that. It was fucking amazing. Look at that.
It was that was my first Halloween off in years. That was because I wasn't working.
Wow. Was it because you were like, I'm not coming in, I'm doing the show? Nah, it was COVID, wasn't it?
It was COVID and I was in Denver.
Oh, that's
That was-
right. You're in Denver. Yeah. Yeah.
The Big Joe, the other last Airbender.
Yeah. What did you use for that blue stripe? I can't remember now. What was the blue? What did you use for that? Was it just paint?
Me and my brother, we went out to Walmart, and it was right before they were going to shut down again. Their ordinances like strengthened, so we went out to Walmart to get Halloween stuff, and I was looking for blue paint, and there was so many people out, it was ridiculous. It was like Christmas fucking Eve, and it was kind of shocking. And the very last thing underneath the counter, like underneath the display case, I found like a little bit of blue. Everything had sparkles in it, or it wasn't that dark blue. That's why I didn't have the arrow on my head like Aang had, because I ran out of
Oh,
I ran out of
man.
blue paint.
Yeah, you were. I mean, maybe a Sharpie would have done the trick, but it wouldn't have looked right because you had legit blue paint. If you put Sharpie here on the no,
I would have done it, you know. It's not like I had to get up and go to work or try to wash it off like that. I was just bumming it around at my brother's house. That was a pretty magical time for me. I don't remember if that was before or after Telluride, but it was an epic time.
yeah. I mean, you've been working hard since you were a kid, nonstop, and then you're like, "What's this? Like a time off? I'm not used to this."
I pretty much had a year's salary in my pocket, and then I did a little traveling. We drove out to Idaho, and then drove out to Denver, and then I just stayed out there for as long as my brother allowed me. And to be honest, I did try to move out there, but I didn't force anything. So once I realized that it wasn't going to happen with dumb luck, I came home.
Well, at least you have a home.
Right?
Well, you have a
You know?
second home in beautiful Denver. One of these
Well,
days.
maybe one day I'll end up. It was hard being out there because anytime I told anybody that, I'm a chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
Anytime I mentioned to anybody that I was from California, they get pissed. Like, oh, you're coming out here with California money. So
California
anytime
money.
right? Well,
What's that?
it's money that we're making out here with our high minimum wage and everything, and then moving to places that aren't as expensive. You go to Portland, you go to Texas, you go to Denver, and you leave with all that money. I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing. Like they're selling all their shit and moving out to somewhere cheaper, and it's raising their prices.
Yeah, that's true, but you got to save money in order to do that.
Well, they don't
Because,
know
I mean,
that.
well, the cost
They
of
just
living is so high in California. So it's like,
that
yeah,
is
maybe
correct.
if the wage is high, it doesn't really matter. It really evens out.
There's some people out there making money. I'm
Who
not
are
one of
these
them.
people?
Right? They're the ones that just moved to Portland and Denver.
Yeah, so you were in Denver for Halloween last year, all right. We got, Coach Laura was also on that broadcast. She's here with us here. Can we dress up again this year? She wants to come back for Halloween. We'll see.
That sounds like fun, but I'll guarantee I'm working 2 jobs right now. I'll probably be working.
Probably. Well, hold on. When does Halloween falls on a Sunday?
Ooh, that's my day off, son.
Interesting. Our show will be the Monday following it on the 1st.
The morning after, huh?
If it's going to be the morning after, correct?
Halloween.
If we're going to celebrate, we're going to have to do it on the 25th, almost a week before.
Well, that's what we did, didn't we? Didn't we celebrate before?
Yeah, usually. Yeah, I'm not I don't like to celebrate holidays the day after. Doesn't make sense. You missed it.
Well,
Try again next year.
we could.
Well, we'll try on the 25th this year. Anyway, yeah, we're so down. What up, Ruben?
Cyber Sid.
Cyber Sid. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have called him by his real name.
Right?
Maybe he didn't want me to do that.
He's been on the show before, though.
Absolutely. That's right. He popped in. We were like, what's up, Ruben? He didn't have much to say. I remember it was a little awkward.
It was better than when we had Jaden on here, though.
Yeah, what you mean for those who don't know, when you tricked your son into joining our live broadcast.
He's been saying he wanted to come on. He's a funny cat. I think he was just thrown off guard, when you're thrown.
Exactly. Yeah, you threw him off guard. He's going to have a much better time when he has his notes, because I'm sure he'll have notes.
Maybe next time. Chance said he showed interest in wanting to call in, but the fool's always asleep. He stays up till like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, send him the link. Send him the link.
He's not awake.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, copy, paste. Just gonna put it in the comments.
Ooh,
There we go.
we adding the link.
We're adding the link.
I like it.
Just to cause chaos. We're putting the link. If you want to be on the show, if you want to talk to us, go ahead, click that link. It's not a dirty link. It's not a trick. It's not
Right.
gonna take you anywhere weird. That's Joe's thing. He'll trick
Oh,
you
come
into doing
on.
something weird. He likes to trick people, even his own family.
No, it's out there. You know it's gonna be weird.
That's true. Anyway, if you feel like hanging out, go ahead, click the link. It's like calling into your favorite radio show. Or
I used to
something.
do that.
Did you ever get on?
I used to call the Dave Hill Show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've been on like once or twice.
Excuse me. Does he recognize you now when you call?
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't in a long time. I've only done it
Mm.
twice, but I listened and I talked to people on Twitter as the show went on. The first time it went great because he knows me through Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The second time wasn't so great because the kids were pressuring me into calling in, like, Dad, you need to call in. And I did that classic. I turned down the radio when I called in, so there wasn't that classic, movie moment like, hey, turn down your radio. You can't listen to both. So they used to have like a little thing where they talked about gear talk. But Dave had a guest on there, and everyone kept calling in for gear talk. And I think Dave was getting a little upset because no one was like focusing on the dope guest that he had. So he's like, he just said to the last two people, hey, let's stop talking about gear and let's talk to the guest. And me turning off my radio, I didn't catch that. So I go, hey, Dave Hill, so what's up with this? Because they have a thing where he can't promote his stuff on the radio. He can't promote his comedy. He can't promote his albums. But if somebody brings it up, he could talk about it then. But for some reason, he wasn't allowed to promote it. So my idea was I was going to call in, ask what gear that he used for the painted doll. So he had an opportunity to plug his painted doll because he's, like I said, wasn't allowed to.
Right.
That was just because he was broadcasting on an actual radio station out there in New Jersey.
You thought you were doing a good thing.
Yeah. And then I heard it in his voice. He was like, Big Joe. And I'm like, gear talk. He's like, motherfucker. Really? Like I just said, this awesome guest and no one cares. Like, what the hell? He's like, but my album, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I just fucked up. I was so embarrassed and I never called back.
So you haven't called back. You haven't redeemed yourself.
I don't know if he's still doing his. He does a Monday night show. He does kind of something similar to what we're doing.
Were
he
you
stopped
sort
doing
of?
it.
Go on.
Oh, it was just something. I think he stopped doing it at the radio station. He took a little break because he did it every Monday and he did it for free. It was great. It was so much fun.
Do you think maybe you were waiting for the heat to cool down a bit before you called back?
Just my days off just changed so often to where I think I just wasn't available on the days that he broadcasted.
We'll just send him. We'll just clip this section of our show and we'll send it to him, and that'll be our way of apologizing.
Right,
for that.
Dave Hill. I'm sorry, man. I was drinking a lot. I didn't know.
Couple things. He was drinking, Dave, Mr. Hill. He was drinking. It's not an excuse, but it's an excuse. And also, he was trying to do something good. He had the radio turned down. Every time, just like you said, Joe. Every time you hear it all the time on the radio, someone calls in, and then the radio has to go, whoa, 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 buddy, turn down your radio. We got a serious echo effect going on here.
Right.
And then they go, sorry.
Let me turn it down. So I was trying to do good. I seen Howard Stern, Private Parts. I was already sitting on my speaker and everything.
Yeah, Howard Stern is he's an inspiration to me as an interviewer. Yeah, absolutely. I just thought he was funny, but he's actually a really, really good interviewer.
Years of experience, man.
He's able to rip people's guard. You know what I mean? Like he'll have the biggest celebrity talking about dicks. Shit like that. I remember in the 90s when you could get away with that stuff. You would just ask women how big is your bra? How big is your bra size? What bra size do you have? And legitimate A-list celebrities be like, Howard.
Right. I'm assuming that he had to tone it down ever since he switched to that digital radio format.
Yeah, which was weird because everyone figured it would be the opposite. Because he was in this fight against the FCC, you know, the people that control the radio and television, you know, and like, "Fine, we're gonna have freedom. We're going to satellite radio." And then once they went to satellite radio, they could say the F word and do all that stuff, but it just didn't feel as like fun. Like, I don't know, something about them almost crossing the line was more interesting than them being able to just say fuck whenever they want. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever
You
listen
know.
to Howard?
Back when he was on the Bone, like when he came to the Bone, what, in the early 2000s, late 90s, whenever that was.
Was it not Live 105?
It might have been Live 105. Sorry, I was thinking of. I remember when Lamont and Tonelli came to the Bone, and they were kind of like doing the edgy thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whip 'em out Wednesdays.
Right? What was it?
No.
TT Thursdays?
Sorry, Ta Tuesday.
Tuesdays.
Okay, see now
I think they did both.
No. We asked Baby Huey about this because there's a show that used to do Flash Friday. There was another show that used to do Whip 'em Out Wednesday, and then Lamont and Tonelli would do Ta Tuesday. And I remember asking Baby Huey, who originated the concept? Who ripped off who? Who stole from who? And Baby Huey is like, I don't know.
It's like the age-old dispute of who came up with the metal horns.
I wasn't aware there was a dispute.
You don't read Blabbermouth? They bring it up every once in a while.
I read Blabbermouth.
I know. It's Gene Simmons and Dio. Like, you know, they keep trying to claim that, or they did try to claim that they came up with it.
So people are saying Gene Simmons came up with the horns? I've heard the Dio thing, but not Gene Simmons.
I heard Gene Simmons saying Gene Simmons he came up with it before Dio.
No way. You're telling me Gene Simmons is taking credit for something?
Yeah, everything.
I love that dude. He's so funny.
I was never a big Kiss guy.
Well, no, neither am I. I don't listen to Kiss at all. Like, I mean, I respect them as musicians. I think Ace is a good guitar player and whatnot. But I don't listen to Kiss, I'll be honest. And but like, I feel like we're all gonna be bummed when Gene Simmons is gone from this world. You know, because as ridiculous as his headlines always are, there's usually some craziness attached to a Gene Simmons headline. It's interesting, and he's not hurting anyone as far as I know. So
no, I don't think he's hurting anyone. He just knows how to make money. Put Kiss on everything.
You know, we all laughed when they unveiled the Kiss casket.
Right? And
do you remember that? When they were like, yeah, you can buy a Kiss casket. And I remember being like, what the fuck? Who would do that? Turns out people would do that.
Dimebag did it.
Dimebag, yeah. I visited Dimebag's grave one time when we were on tour in 2013.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of us were like, "Oh, we're in Arlington. Let's go to Dime's grave." And then when we were there, we were kind of like, "Why are we here?" It felt weird. I remember one of us was like, "This feels weird. We're like on tour and we're at a cemetery and we're all like having fun, but we're at a cemetery."
I know that when people came into the Bay Area, and if Nick Gomez was taking care of them, you know, Castro Valley and the Cliff Burton connection, you know, he would always take him to the Cliff Burton's. I guess he's not buried there, but there's a memorial there for him.
Yes, there is, and I used to visit that memorial
I've never
all the
been.
time. Yeah, it's at Marshall Elementary School in Castro Valley. For folks, don't go wandering onto the grounds of an elementary school. Go on a Sunday,
right?
Folks, before I go on, don't just walk in. It's not like a public place. It's a school. But yeah, in the school there is a little memorial on the ground, and me and my friend Max Goppert used to go to the Rite Aid down the street, stuff our pockets with as much candy as we could, not pay for it. We were little thieves. We'd steal the candy. That's all we stole, though, candy. But we'd steal a fuck ton of candy, and then just go right over to that memorial, sit down, and eat all the candy, and then sometimes we'd leave some for him.
That's pretty metal.
I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, we were like hanging out with Cliff, it felt like. And like I said, we'd leave him fucking Skittles and shit like that.
Dude, I bet you he fucking loved it.
I hope so. One day I'll be able to speak to him about it.
Right? He's like, dude, totally not cool. That's a school, man.
He's like,
some kid came on a Monday morning and found that shit.
It's True. Oh my God. You know, we were kids at the time, so I guess it didn't feel weird. If I, as a 35-year-old feller, just strolled onto the campus, that's why I felt the need to give that warning to everyone's like, folks, it's a school. All right, you can't just stroll on. Um, yeah. So anyway, how did we get into that? What were we talking about?
Talking
Oh
about
yeah,
Kiss.
yeah, talking about Kiss. Anyway, the Kiss casket, it exists. I'm gonna. Is there another band that can get away with that? Like the Misfits, maybe, or some kind of insanely marketable band?
Yeah.
ABBA?
Oh. Probably Jamiroquai.
No, Jamiroquai. He was buried in a Jamiroquai, as expected. He was buried in his Jamiroquai casket.
Damn. That's what I want on the Jamiroquai casket. But I need to be on Mars. I want to be buried on Mars.
Joe, you're the only person that mentions Jamiroquai in the year 2021. How does that feel?
That feels pretty funky.
I think we should maybe clip this and send it to Jamiroquai. I think there's a lot of things on this episode we need to clip and send away, and then
Right.
try to get some love.
Like Cliff Burton, we're talking about you, bro. Hashtag me back.
Yeah, we'll hit up the Cliff Burton family. They're all very sweet. We've all met the Cliff Burton family. They're nice people. Yeah. Coach Slore says, Wellness of Madness podcast says that's how you do it. Shove it down people's throats. I'm not sure what she's referring to, but it might be
is that out of context?
But it's probably better out of context.
I'm just trying to replay what I said.
It's not that kind of show. We're not trying to do that kind of show.
That's the late night show.
Shove it down people's throats. Yeah, you want morning after dark. The morning after dark.
That's right.
Sabbath. Yeah. Would you do it, Ruben? Would you get buried in a Sabbath
He totally would.
casket? Okay, Joe. You have to get buried in a casket. The casket has to be some kind of musical. Can be a person or a band. Who's going with you?
Fog of War.
Fog of War casket.
Dude, for sure. 100%. Hands
Tell me.
Because Fog of War is the greatest band ever.
I love it.
Dude, you can't deny that.
I thought you'd have more to say about it, but that's a very
No, that was
simple
a
explanation.
hard period right there. Hard period.
Wow. Best band ever, hard period.
Yeah.
That was a hard period. Yeah, Fog of War. I can see that. Yeah, he'd be down. Sabbath. I agree. Fog of War is the best band ever. And we'll give him the correction. Yeah.
I like it.
Fog of War, best band ever. Man, they got a new album coming out one of these years, I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah. Guys, keep your eyes open for Fog of War. Joe, do you know anything about that?
You know, I know a little bit, but that's not my casket or my bag, sorry. And I don't know, it's not my business to say, but I know that there's fires in not fires, but they're cooking something over there. So I'll say that much.
There are fires up there.
Dude, there is. Like yesterday
dude.
was horrible. It looked like we were in a dust storm. And it was actually pretty nice. I drove to the Bay Area yesterday, so I got to drive out of that. And but yeah, normally I have this epic view. I can see into Sacramento. On a clear day, I can see Mount Diablo from where I'm at, which is in Walnut Creek, which is like 2 hours away. And on a clear day, I could see that fucking dope ass mountain from my porch.
Wow.
But yeah, now you can't see nothing out there.
Ooh, man. Yeah. Man, people are losing their houses again, man.
It's some crazy stuff. More fires up here, and then who knows? Just with the wind picks up out here, I mean, I have no idea where the smoke's coming from. I mean, you can get online and check and see where it's being blown from. But like I know, last night was super windy, and it was clear. You can see the stars, and that's pretty. Like out here in the country, man, like it's pretty. Yeah.
Speaking of last night, didn't you play a gig last night?
I played a gig, like a matinee show. We went on at 4:30.
Oh, that is a matinee show. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
But I played with the Big Blind.
Before that, when was the last time you were on stage?
February. What? It was last year, February.
Wow.
I played at the bottom of the hill with Violation Wound and a couple other bands.
Wow, so you've gone over a year without playing a gig. How did it feel to be up there?
It was fun. One thing that I definitely realized, and I realized this a couple months ago, that all the practice time that I put in during the pandemic was definitely on the couch. I had a policy to where if I'm sitting around watching TV, I had to be playing, going just running mindlessly through scales, and just keeping those fingers hot. And the fingers were hot, but I'm not used to walking around and moving around. So there was a little staircase I wanted to jump on, but I was like, dude, I can't do it. I had a little wireless system, and I was like, dude, don't do it.
Oh, you were rocking the wireless?
Yeah, I got this little like $100 wireless thing. It's a new technology that they're trying to like a Bluetooth style thing, but it cuts out. Like I can't even use it at home because just for some reason the interference the interference just cuts it out. And so there was a few times where it would cut out, but it still sounds really good. It looks like
So
what's that?
you used it during the show?
Yeah,
Ooh, taking a big risk there.
right.
Did it cut out?
It cut out a couple times, but not often. They're perfect for when you're practicing, maybe in the jam room.
Mm-hmm.
And because one of my big things, because I'm such a tall dude, if I have things at my feet or people standing around me, I do get distracted when I play because I have to pay attention to where I'm walking. I can perform the best when I have nothing around me and I can just move back and forth or walk over to the guitar players. I was able to walk over to the guitar player, past the singer.
Yeah.
There was a time I almost ran into the singer last night, Courtney, and I was able to duck and still hit the notes, and not run into her because she backed up right when I was walking by, So, but if I have something at my feet, it's super distracting, and then my mind gets out of the moment, and I'm like watching where I step.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's a quality of life, peace of mind kind of
I always like the
accessory.
leg room. The leg room.
Yeah. Interesting. I've never felt encumbered by the cord, but I have played on a wireless system, and oh man, it is nice.
I never got them just because, as you know, I was a drinker, and I always forgot them everywhere. I'd always leave them at the gigs, and
That's right. They come in different parts, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
So it's it was always a question if I was always buying new cords because I would either have somebody else's cord that I had to give back or I lost mine or it's still at the venue, So I even showed up to the gig last night and I didn't have a power supply to my amp. I'm like, shit, it's not in my bag. And my bag has been sitting by the door. I have so many basses. I don't practice with the bass that I perform with. So it's just ready. It's gig ready,
Yeah, well, there's kinks to be worked out. You know what I mean? It's first show back in over a year. You're gonna forget a thing or two. It's all right. Someone's got to have a power supply.
Exactly, and they did. And I felt like we did really good. We killed it. There was a point where my thumb technique was getting a little sloppy. My hand was getting a little jello-y, not as precise. One thing I tend to do is play harder than I need to. And because I can't hear it if I walk away from my amp, I think it's not loud, so I'll hit it louder, And maybe I was playing just a little too hard, and I didn't need to play as hard.
Wow.
It was a fantastic show. There was a good amount of people there. We walked through the door. They wanted to see if we were vaccinated. I felt like I got into a car accident, and I was handing over my insurance card and my ID to an officer. So that was but it was kind of nice. You didn't have to worry about nothing, and
that's why we do it right there, for that very feeling.
So it was fun.
Good, man. Good. They give you drink tickets that you had to give away?
No one gave us drink tickets.
Ooh.
And I was prepared to give them away, because even though I don't drink anymore, I like to be able to pay back the people who drove me around when I was hammered. So yeah, have a good time. I'll drive you. You have a safe ride with me, So have fun, I don't care. I'll buy you a drink, So there was a point where I went up to the bar to order a Coke, and I made sure the bands weren't playing. So there was no question that I wanted just a plain Coke, just a regular Coke, please. I didn't want it to be loud. I'm like, what? I'm pretty sure you said rum and Coke or Jack and Coke, and I used to like to order
Coke and what?
Yeah,
and?
right. Exactly. So I went up there when I was quiet, so I waited a little bit, and I got a regular Coke, and it was still kind of weird having a glass in my hand, and all that stuff. I'm like, but it was definitely a fun time. It was the townhouse in Vallejo, California, and I saw a lot of old friends there.
Yeah.
I had some family come out. That was fun.
It's right next door to Benicia, basically, right?
That's right. It is.
Yeah.
It's neighboring.
707. Say it backwards.
What is that?
That's what the
I get it.
greatest rapper of all time, E40, tells me. 707. Say it backwards.
I'm not. I mean, I listen to rap here and there, but normally I'll listen to local guys. I like to support local Benicia Vallejo guys, especially like professional baseball players when they come up or different things like that. Or
Jeff Gordon, shit like that.
dude, right?
Right? He's from Vallejo, right?
He was born in Vallejo, and I think he claimed somewhere else, but he was born in Vallejo. A lot of people were born in Vallejo.
Because he always looked to me like a Southern guy, just because he's a NASCAR driver.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit, he's from the Bay.
I went through a Jeff Gordon phase. I had there was a time where I only drank beer that had Jeff Gordon on it.
Beer that had Jeff Gordon on?
Yeah, you know how like
why am
in
I
a Star
not
Wars
understanding?
movie, they put Star Wars characters on Pepsi cans.
Yeah.
Like beer would do that with athletes and different things, and there was a time there was Jeff Gordon on beer cans. And
which beer though? Was it
it was
like
Budweiser.
Okay, that makes sense. Budweiser, of course.
I still have the can somewhere. I probably threw it away. Like I had to throw away a lot of things while I moved, which was heartbreaking.
Even those collectible beer cans had to go, huh?
It still had the beer in it.
Oh.
But no,
You
it was
never even
just
cracked them.
it was COVID when I moved, so all the Goodwills were closed. So I threw out a lot of good stuff.
Man, I have one piece of Jeff Gordon. Was that a sneeze? What happened?
It was. I think it's the smoke.
But it was like nothing happened. That was strange. You just kind of.
Because I'm not trying to blow out my microphone, going like.
Wow, you just held it in there.
Yeah. Thank you. What a nice guy.
Bless you. It's like I wasn't sure what that was either. Just bless you. Or... Oh boy.
Sweet relief.
Jeff, I have one piece of Jeff Gordon memorabilia, and it was a gag. It was just a gag. Do you like my little? That's me on the right there. I bought that shirt specifically to look like a redneck. And,
I like it.
I haven't worn it since. And at the time, I didn't know that Jeff Gordon was from the Bay Area. So I look like an idiot.
Nah, Jeff Gordon. I'd still rock Jeff Gordon stuff.
Yeah, he had the coolest looking car, like his rainbow car. That was awesome. I don't know anything about NASCAR.
Oh, excuse me.
And we'll put it up here again. Bless you.
Oh, thanks, Sid.
Bless you, Joe. Yeah. So you had a show yesterday. It was fun. It was a matinee show. Did you fuck up at all? Did you fuck up a bunch?
Yeah, there's this one part, this song where it's just bass and vocals. We
always know exactly when and how many times we fucked up on the show. So there was a part with just bass and vocals.
Yeah, and I'm just doing this kind of what it is. It's a little slower than I'm used to, so I really have to take a deep breath and, like dum 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 dum, and that takes so much of my concentration, ADHD, and I forget the riff, and the singer is the highlight, and I'll mess up and I'll play the wrong note, and she's always dead on, and she's not. It just doesn't match up well, and yeah, of course I fucked up, and I love to acknowledge when I fuck up, so I'll look around or I'll make a stupid face or I'll look back at my drummer like I'm sorry and try to blame it on the guitar player, even though it's only bass and vocals, or I'll blame it on Courtney, and yeah, so I messed up once, but I caught it. And then there was another bass line. Even though I love to listen to ska, my ska chops on the bass aren't that great. I'm not a pick player, and so there's this one bass line that's pretty difficult that I fucked up. Pretty good.
They say you're not supposed to. They say you're not supposed to acknowledge when you messed up, but I mean sometimes when it's so clearly you, and as you said, it's just a part with bass and vocals.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's no choice.
I always
'Cause
mess. I love acknowledging it.
well, if you don't jump on the grenade and take fault, it
Right.
might look like she fucked up.
Very
And
true.
your singer didn't fuck up, right? You fucked up.
Oh,
So if you don't jump on the grenade, people might go, man, she's a bad singer.
Well, and what I've always noticed too, like in the heat of the moment, people don't notice that shit. Like, so I could have just sat there and like, yeah, whatever. But it's just my personality. Like, I'll acknowledge my faults. I'm a big guy, so I always like to, mention my size and like, hey, you just call me fat? Like what the fuck? Like, it's just part of my humor. Like, but it is kind of a self-defense mechanism. Like, like I'll say it before you can. So what? You got nothing. Your ammo's gone.
That's good. That's good.
Fuck 'em.
Classic bully diversion. I love
Right?
it. Hmm. Um, hey, nobody's perfect. We fuck up on stage. I think we've talked about this before. I'll go up and I'll play like the worst fucking show of my life, and then someone will come up after like, that was sick, dude. Like that
Right.
was fucking sick. And I'm like, and usually I'm a dick about it. Or not a dick about it. I do this lame thing where I'm like, nah, man, I fucked up hella times, dude. Like fucking nah, stop. When I really should just shut up and say thank you. But
Right.
I'll go into a whole thing and no, it wasn't that good. Really, did it sound good? Like I'm just sound like a douche. Just say
Yeah.
thanks.
In a live performance, people are there for the show. So it's for the energy. Now if you're recording a live album, that's a different story. But I mean, I just found this out recently. People go back and punch in their live albums and fix mistakes.
Yeah, that's why sometimes when they don't do that, they make it a big point to tell you no overdubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, wait, what do you mean no overdubs? It's live. And then that's when you realize, oh, most of these bands pipe in background vocals, they fix parts that fucked up, they up the crowd noise sometimes,
Right.
so it sounds like they're fucking live at Budokan.
I remember there was an album that I really enjoyed. It was John McLaughlin, Tony Williams, I believe, and Jaco Pastorius, the Trio of Doom. And their famous live album was recorded 3 days after their only performance, or one of their only performances, in the studio, and they put in audience noise, crowd noise.
Oh no!
Because they didn't like how it turned out.
So what did they play live in the studio?
I don't know.
And say, hey, we did it live. We just didn't do it on the night we said we did it.
I think they actually said it was like, hey, this was the festival we did it at. We came together for this one performance, and we covered each other's songs. Here's the story of what happened that day or whatever, like, or in the notes, and years later, I would say about 10 years ago, they actually released the actual recording because they realized that even though there was mistakes and it wasn't perfect, that's what made it beautiful.
Yes, exactly. This is not a record. It's not an LP. It's a live album. There's going to be mistakes, and that's why we like live versions, because they're different than the studio version.
Exactly. So I've figured that out a long time ago. So hey, as long as people are having fun, they're gonna think that you did a flawless job.
And if I fuck up, well, I can just pipe it in later.
Right? Well, if you're recording, it's correct.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, even if you go back and listen to a lot of Fog of War stuff, and especially with Violation Wound, I think there was only one time where, we recorded Violation Wound live. There was only one time on one record that I had to go back in and fix my stuff because it was so bad. Mm-hmm. We like to get completely, I can't speak for the other guys, but for Violation Wound, I like to completely get blacked out and record an album. And,
past tense, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and there was this one time, and I pulled it off pretty decent, and like, something turned out like, wow, that was amazing. It's like, yeah, I was completely fucking it up. But there was this one time the studio setup was a little weird, and I couldn't hear the drummer, and I had no monitors in my ears, so I couldn't hear anything that was going on. So I think my bass was cutting out too. My wiring was messed up, and I needed to go back because it was just not usable. But there's even stuff that's on. It's on one of the albums. I can't remember which one, but yeah, I had that. That was the only time ever that I've gone back in. Like, yeah, you need to come back in and redo this.
What was now not talking studio wise. Let's talk live shows. Can you pinpoint a time where you know it was the most you fucked up on, absolutely the most you've ever fucked up on stage? Not been fucked up, but like, what was the worst show you ever played? You know, there will be a day when we talk about positive stuff, like what's the best show you ever played.
Right.
But right now,
Today's not that day.
Today's not that day because I woke up and I chose violence or whatever the kids say.
Right.
I'm so sorry I just said that. I just made myself cringe. Oh God, I feel it the tingling in my back. I'm so sorry. Was there a show where you just, or even just a moment during a show? We talked about one of your shitty bass solos last year during the first season, which is a story I absolutely loved. And you gave a shitty bass solo, and the crowd went nuts because they didn't know what they were watching, I guess.
Right.
But what was the worst you've just straight up ever fucked up on stage?
So like I said, I never had 100% performance ever. But there was shows that I wasn't feeling it, and maybe I wasn't connected, or maybe something was going on in my head. And I remember there was one time I was playing with Fog of War, and we were in Chris's club in Vallejo, California. We played there a lot. They always asked us to play, and that's where we actually built our chops and our stage presence. We had this bar that just had a decent stage, and we got to go there and hang out with all of our friends, and hell, people would show up, and we'd have amazing sets. The energy would be high as all hell, but I remember there was this one time, and I don't remember if I was playing bad or not, but I remember it was so bad, and I was just so miserable that I just remember thinking, like, I wish I was home in my bed, like right now. Like, I wanted to have magic powers and just, if I could teleport.
You thought that on stage you had this thought
while we're like playing songs, like, I just want to be in bed right now. Like, if I could poof out of there and my bass just falls to the ground and I just disappear and smoke and I end up in bed, I would have done it.
And you would have provided the most amazing thing anyone's ever seen.
Right. I mean, that, and then again, they probably would, that was amazing, So, but again, like, that's where I learned it is playing so many weekends at Chris's club, getting our chops, that things happen, and people have so much fun. Like, I remember the first time there was a stripper pole on there, and the first time hella people started jumping up there and like getting on that, and they were falling off, and they were all having fun and drunk and stuff. And it was distracting, and they were jumping over us and stuff and getting caught on the mic stands and taking the mics with them and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, this sucks. And everyone's like, that was the most epic show I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh. And then they buy all our merch, and they're buying us drinks, and the bar pays us like $200 extra because they're like, they were up that high, and they were like, normally we don't cash people out, but boom, here you go. So it was always, I learned that people interpret things way different than what we do.
Totally. We're all up in our own heads and shit. We're trying to play perfect because we know how everything is supposed to sound. But as you said, people show up and they just want to show.
They just want to have fun. They want to go out and have a good time and laugh and watch, and it's good.
And that's part of your gimmick, I'll say. You never know what's going to happen with Big Joe. Even if you're in his band, you don't know what's going to happen with Big Joe at a show. I remember there was a great clip of you. It exists somewhere on YouTube, but I don't know what happened. Like I think your cord came out. Like, we were playing and like your cord came out. You should have had a wireless, but your cord came out, and then like normally when that happens to a guitar player, they go, oh shit, and then they fucking stop everything, and then they fucking quickly get the cord and they jam it back in, and they try to jump right back into the song as if nothing happened. But not you. No, the cord came out, you looked at it, looked around, and then you bent down, picked up the cord, and then looked at it, put it in your bass, then cracked your knuckles very, very, very obnoxiously for everyone to see, and then like then turned your volume up and started playing. What could have taken about 5 seconds took you about 20 whole seconds, and it was fucking amazing. I loved it so. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the Big Joe gimmick. You don't know what you're gonna get on stage with Big Joe.
I definitely don't know either, and I definitely ride on that. Like, I know that I can't control much, so I just try not to. I just ride those waves. But that particular chord, I know what you're. I remember seeing that clip.
Yeah.
But I had this cord that had the tips of them were magnetic, and so you could plug it in, and then the cord was connected, and it stopped that popping noise when it got pulled out. It was a clean disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't wrap my cord around my strap like how you're supposed to do, and put it in, somebody steps on it and it just yanks it off. It's only magnets. So
that seems like that particular product is really asking for that scenario.
Again, if you put it in there, yeah, that's happened to me millions of times. I still have the cord. I've had it for about 15, 20 years.
It's a good cord.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's all messed up towards the end, because what I would do in between songs, I was using it as a disconnect to mute myself instead of turning down my volume, and then I'd whip it around like a chain, like you were about to get jumped, hey, you got the time, and it's just totally destroyed, because that's just how I just pull it out, and just that's why it wasn't wrapped around how it should have been, because that's how I muted.
Wow. Yeah, it's just easier than turning your volume down.
I play through a lot of high gain, so you got to turn it down, or you're going to start getting some feedback, or
right.
And sorry, bless you. There you go. That might have been the smoke.
Yeah, I'm all making fun of your cough, even though you're right next to deadly fire.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Oh. So, but yeah. Anyways, it's a good cord. I wish I could still use it. They don't make them anymore. The whole purpose, what I was using it for, so I could use multiple basses, and they're already ready to be plugged in and play.
Ooh, now that's smart. See, now, okay, so when you first told me about it, you're like, it reduces it eliminates the popping sound when you pull your thing. But if you have your volume turned down like you should when you pull your thing out, it's not going to pop.
Exactly.
So,
but it was for like if it got yanked from your guitar.
You
wouldn't
get
that
Xbox controller.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got that little mechanic, so if someone walks by the TV while you're playing Xbox and trips over the controller, it doesn't pull your entire Xbox down from the fucking from the entertainment center.
Right.
So that's actually genius. For that reason, yeah. If somebody fucking yanks your cord out, it doesn't pull it out of the guitar. It just unhinges the magnet.
Exactly. I saw Victor Wooten use them. So, and what he would do in between, like, he'd be doing a bass solo, and he'd switch basses in the middle of the solo, and it was already plugged in. He just had to just get it near and let the magnets do its job,
How come you're not friends with Victor Wooten?
I've only met him once.
You met him? I've seen a picture with you guys together. I don't know. It feels like with your prolific career in bass guitar and his as well, it feels like you guys should have been hooked up by now. Good friends.
You know what? I try and I send him friend requests on MySpace all the time, and he just never replies.
It's almost as if he doesn't log into MySpace or something.
I don't know. I got Danny Lilker to reply to me on MySpace once, but
how's Danny doing?
This was years ago, so I just asked him where I could get some milk, and he said try 7-Eleven.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he probably hears that every once in a while.
He's like, motherfucker. And this was like the time where social media wasn't as big as it was. So like sometimes people would reply to you, because they're like, oh, cool. One person sent me a message. This is kind of cool. Versus like now, like any celebrity probably has they don't even check them because they get 1,200 messages like an hour.
It goes into their little message request box, what I mean, which they never look at.
Why? Yeah. Like they probably, you got to turn your notifications off. Your thing's going to be popping all day long.
Exactly. Well, there was a sweet spot back then in the early 2010s where you could possibly get Danny Lilker to tell you where to get milk.
And he told my dumbass. I met Danny Lilker a handful of times.
Yeah, we played with with nuclear assault at nuclear. Oh, I wanted to say napalm death, but that's way wrong. It's nuclear assault. Yeah, we played with them at Slaughter, and Danny was a really nice guy.
He was really nice. There was a time where he played with Autopsy, and him knowing Chris, he's actually like I've hung out with him at Pizza Pirate before.
Wow.
He's been the Pizza Pirate.
For those who don't know, Joe is in Violation Wound, a band featuring Chris Reifert, and there's the connection there. Yeah.
And the Fog of War drummer, the best drummer ever.
Well, forgot about old Maddie. How could I do that? That was rude of me.
Maddie's my hero.
Dude, Maddie's my hero. Maddie, he's my hero, man. Sorry.
Right. I wanna put Matt O'Connell and Dan Souza in a room and see who comes out alive.
They would just come out better friends.
Right? Sure. They'd be coming out like, the door would open and it'll look like the Mystery Machine and they're all hugging and laughing and shit.
Yeah. They're going to be like, we don't like how you pit us against each other like that.
They'd have a super group band of like 2 drummers and it's going to be the heaviest thing you've ever heard.
That always tripped me out when a band had 2 drummers. And
that
they're
never,
like doing the same thing.
That never freaked me out. It's the 2 basses.
Like Stanley Clark's band.
That one I kind of understood. Like Victor Wooten had a bass player too, but like you'd see country bands that would have an electric bass and then a stand-up bass player in the back.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes just as much sense to me as the Stanley Clark having a second bass. Because Stanley, he does a lot of he does a lot of really technical stuff, and he kind of takes and those technical passages or however sort of takes them out of the groove. So you need a bass player back there to keep the groove, right? Yep. That makes sense. Explain to me why you would need. Now I'm not sure. Why would you need a stand-up bass and an electric bass?
If you got the money to pay the musicians, why not?
Yeah, that's true. But musicians aren't cheap. I mean, we are, but we're not.
Well, I'm cheap.
Well, we're cheap, like we don't spend a lot of money, but to hire a musician for your band, that's a pretty penny.
Well, if you're selling albums,
I'm not.
If Garth Brooks or BB King, maybe this is the first time I saw it was on BB King.
Two bass players? BB King?
2 bass players.
Yeah, I don't even think his music would necessitate a second bass player, would
Maybe just the tone, man.
Maybe it just shows how little I know about what BB King does.
BB King was the man.
He still is, though, right?
Well, he's not with us anymore, but...
Are you sure?
He is. I'm very sure. I got to see him like a year before he died.
Fuck that. Oh my God, he died in 2015? For some reason, I thought he was still alive.
No, when I saw him, he couldn't even stand. He barely could play. Like on his hour-long set, he probably played like 3 minutes. And he explained why. Just his old backing. And he sang, and he said, hey, I'm so old, I can't stand and play anymore. And my arthritis is so bad. He just played like a couple of signature leads. And he just told stories and sang all his songs. And his backing band carried him the whole way through.
Okay, he was singing, though.
Yeah. Right. No, he just wasn't sitting there in the corner going, hi, I'm BB King.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play. Like, he played as much as he could, and then the band did everything else.
Wow. You're probably very grateful to have seen BB King.
Very. I saw him in Vallejo at the fair. And like I said, a year before he passed away.
Wow. 707. Say it backwards.
What was it again? 076? 925?
Oh, shit. 925. It used to be my area code back when I was a Bay Area guy for a short time. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I'm still tripping out on that. See, I thought he was alive. I was like, well, I'll just see him when he comes around after COVID.
Right. Right. No, he's been... One of his last songs that he recorded was something about like, please come to my grave and clean off the leaves.
Oh.
Like he knew he was getting up there. He was like, how old was he? Like 9? He was in his 90s.
Yeah, I think I just read it, but
97?
I think
I don't know. Like it's not like I knew. Why am I trying to throw guesses out there?
Dominique, can you pull that up, please?
Oh, she there? What up,
yeah,
girl?
She's back. She's back.
She's back in the saddle again.
She says hi. he was 89 when he passed away.
89.
Thank you, Dominique. Yeah, we need to get a camera on Dominique, just so we can say hi to her every once in a while. So we could say, you know, bonjour and fucking.
She doesn't like the spotlight. She's a shy lady.
She's out of the spotlight.
She
doesn't
talks to me
speak
on
English.
MySpace.
She does? Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. What do you get? Google Translate? Is that
Yeah,
how
yeah.
that works? Yeah. How
I have to
accurate
copy
is
and
it?
paste everything.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna learn English soon. I hope. It's kind of hard to communicate with her, but she does her job very well. So thank you much.
She's good. She's a sweetheart.
Dominique. Yeah. Just been. Did you happen to see the celebrity boxing fight last night that everyone
No.
was talking about? There was a Jake Paul YouTube guy versus former welterweight champion of the UFC, Tyron Woodley. They fought each other in a boxing match last night, and I watched it.
Yeah, so you helped Jake Paul make more money.
Yes, I guess. Someone who bought the pay-per-view would have helped Jake Paul. Yes, that is true, and that's all I'll say.
I'm sure though that the ratings, like, hey, this many, like, they account for that guaranteed. Like, all right, this is how many people paid, how many people tagged along, and
Tag along. There you go. That's
right?
the word I was looking for.
Just like a
tagged
big,
along.
like Walmart, they have that demographic of how much money is going to be stolen from them, or they lose
Is that
in
true?
damages. Yeah,
I thought that was a myth.
It could have been a myth. I mean, I'm
Like,
no expert.
you know,
I'm no Gene Simmons.
I thought that was. I thought they took. I thought that was a myth that thieves came up with. You know, they steal something and then to justify it in their own heads, they go like, well, they have an account of money that is for this very thing. So
Well,
we're basically helping them.
I don't know if it's an account, but if people go and steal,
Mhm.
it would make sense to go, all right, this is on average how much we lose from theft, and there's a number written down somewhere going like, hey, your theft is like way out of line, you know, or loss, whatever loss it is, whether it's gets lost from the truck. I mean, there's got to be, because if it's disappearing, you got to keep track of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's good business. That's just good business. And Walmart didn't get to where it was doing bad business.
Well,
No. This is an upstanding company. They don't do anything wrong.
I don't know, man. But I believe all money's blood money, so who knows?
Right. Like, feels dirty every time. It's physically, like, literally dirty when I see money.
Well, it is. I mean,
Give
you read
me
the
sanity.
statistics of like how much crap and Coke is on like currency.
Coke, huh?
Yeah.
So what's up? Do cokeheads? There's like no other paper available. Like, why do they always use dollar bills?
Well, they use hundreds.
Only hundreds?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never done Coke. Just the
Oh,
cola.
man. Just like a little straw would work, or any paper would work. It always seems like they're rolling up money. I don't know. Maybe these cokeheads have so much money they don't know what to do with it.
They don't. So they wipe their ass with it and pick things up like a vacuum cleaner.
They wipe their ass with it, then they do a line of Coke with it.
And then they go to Walmart and steal. And then go to McDonald's and then actually spend the money and break the bill.
I thought you were gonna say spend it, and then see, this is why you funny. That's why you funny.
Oh, yeah.
You funny. Yeah, man. So yeah, I tagged along and watched this stupid celebrity boxing fight last night, and the YouTube guy won. He won the fight. The YouTube guy that everyone wanted to lose didn't lose. He actually won the fight. And
did he knock homeboy out?
No, he didn't. He won a decision, pretty convincingly. Like I said, the guy he fought used to be the welterweight champion in the UFC. He's only 39, but boxing is a different sport than mixed martial arts, than UFC, as people call it. So he actually got tagged quite a bit by this YouTube guy, and I can't imagine that it wasn't embarrassing.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't care with how much money he made.
You know,
Like what
this,
Paul's last fight, they were talking about that.
yeah, straight up. And this was probably the biggest paycheck that Tyron Woodley has ever gotten. That's, of course,
Right.
the UFC champ I was referring to. So, yeah, you might be right. He might not be too mad about that. But maybe there's a pride thing. You know, he got his ass beat by the YouTube kid.
It was probably decided beforehand.
Hmm.
Vince
It'd be like,
McMahon sitting back there going like, "Hey, so you're gonna take a fall."
you know, we're YouTube kids, basically. What we do. We're live on YouTube right this second with 3,000 people watching.
Yeah.
And so that could be us. It could be us. Like,
You want to
I'd
have a
get to
boxing
training.
match?
I'm calling out. You know what? No, not against each. Do you mean against me? You want
Yeah.
you want to box me?
Yeah.
Wow.
But what we should
It-
do is have one hand duct tape behind our back, our feet tied together, and blindfolded with one glove.
It would take forever for anything to happen.
And then our friends like threw like garbage on us like while we were fighting.
Look, I'll do anything to up the ratings here at the morning after with JP Big. There's
I
already
would totally do it.
3,000. There's already 3,000 people watching, but we can get it up to 3 million. I don't see why not.
Right.
You know, fight of the century, Big Joe versus JP. One hand duct tape behind the back, both legs tied together. What else did you say? Naked. You said, yeah. Wait, did you not say naked, or did I
No.
imagine that? Okay. Well,
That's
can
right,
we
though.
be naked?
If you want. I mean,
Okay.
I said blindfolded, so
Blindfolded. That was it. I just
you will
move around
definitely be
better.
naked,
Yeah, I just move around better with no clothes.
right?
You know,
Like a slip and slide.
like a slip and slide. Yeah. But anyway, you know, it could be us next. So all I'm saying is get to training, Joe. Get in there.
I've been training.
You've been training? Yeah.
I have been. Well, not fighting. There's a guy up here. That's a MMA fighter that
Mhm.
runs a gym out of his house, and I think after the holidays, I'm gonna start training with him. Not so much that I want to
Really?
learn how to fight, but just I've been on a weight loss journey, and it's been amazing. And the reason why I want to wait after the holidays because I'm working 2 jobs right now. But after the holidays, I'm gonna stick with the one, and I just don't want to throw up my back with all this activity and all this running around, and you know, so you gotta keep up the physical activity.
How far are you down pound wise?
I'm down 50 pounds. I was actually down 60 pounds, but then I went up 10 pounds, and then actually I weighed myself this morning, and I went down another 5. You know how it fluctuates.
All right, we're gonna go with 60. Man lost 60 pounds. God
3
damn,
months.
Joe.
About 3.5 months now.
60 pounds in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible, man. So after the holidays, you're gonna get back on your shit, and then you're
Well,
gonna.
I'm on the shit. It's just I just don't want to take on too much. You know, it's like
I hear you. Yeah.
it's like going to the gym for the first day. I'm conditioning myself, so you know, you go to the gym, go back to the gym for the first day, and you're like sore for like 6 months afterwards because you didn't work those muscles out. Like I want to build up to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
Well,
the guy, he's a stud, you know. So I want to. He's a belt holder too. He fights in the casinos up here and all the little indie circuits, you know. So he's dope. His name is
Well,
Thomas.
what's his name? Yeah.
Thomas Fallon.
Thomas Fallon.
Thomas
There we go.
Smash Fallon.
Thomas Smash Fallon. Everybody, check out Thomas Smash Fallon up in the Sacramento
He's in Rockland.
area. Rockland? I just
Yeah.
said the Sacramento area. Does that count?
Same thing.
Okay. If you're in the Sacramento area, check out Thomas Fallon.
Thomas Smash Fallon.
Thomas Smash Fallon. So that's going to be cool. Not only are you going to shed some pounds, and I know you're like, well, not necessarily learning how to fight, but you might actually come out with some skills.
Right?
Yeah. And then you're going to be 6'6" and a killing machine.
Right.
They're going to do Dana White of the UFC is going to be calling your name, and they're going to be like, who's this monster out of the Sacramento area? Ooh, yeah. A lot of potential there, Joe. 6'6" monster that knows how to fight. YouTube, Jake Paul. Watch out, okay?
Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up.
He's a big boy. I think they fought at 190. Well, I guess it's not big, but it's bigger than I thought he was. But he fought at 190, so I think he could maybe bulk up to 200. You're on your way down there.
I wish.
I mean, for a 6'6" guy to get to 200 pounds, you'd have to be like a beanpole, right?
You know, I'd say I always thought that around like 260 is like the weight that I need to be at.
Okay. Okay.
I always tried to stay under 300. You know, younger when I got closer to 300, I was like, hey, you got to stop fucking around and
Hmm.
don't hit that mark. You know,
I
and
see.
then I'd say about 4 months ago. No, yeah, about 4 months ago, I hopped on the scale and I was not happy. You know, I was almost 400 pounds. That's what I said.
Dang.
That's what
Whoa.
I said. So I think I'm
Wow.
in the, you know, like the last 2.5 years, I was on a journey of sobriety,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm like, all right, I got that under control. Not that I'm reeling back on my sober life game, but I'm like, all right, now it's time to starting to eat right. You know, like working the pizza industry and drinking a big old bottle of whiskey every day did not do me any favors. But when I did get sober and stopped doing that, you know, I was going out to eat with my friends. You know, last year I had a pocket full of money. You know, I ate wherever I wanted. You know, and I really started making a change up in Denver because I had thrown out my back, and the elevation was so high that
Mhm.
I was losing my breath just walking. Like if there was an incline in the sidewalk, man, I would slow down and start huffing and puffing. I'm an
Mm.
ex-smoker too, you know, so like even in this smoke, like it feels like I just smoked a pack and ran, you know. And
Yeah, you're an ex-smoker, and then you sort of transitioned over to the vape. Are you still doing the vapies?
so I used vaping to quit smoking.
Hmm.
Um and that was good, but eventually that started catching up with me too. I felt like I was it definitely helped me wean off the smoking, and then eventually I quit doing that altogether. And but
So
it was still,
you're not
and
even
I'm
doing the
not even,
vape.
yeah. Then I'd say
Oh, that's
about
great.
6 months ago, you know, I was just vaping so much, you know, being stuck inside, you know,
Uh-huh.
and in the car, any opportunity I had, I was vaping. It was probably like 10 months ago, actually, I stopped the vaping.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I was burning my throat. Um, I
I
always called
bet.
it a digital burn. Like it was a special kind of burn.
Felt different.
It did. And I was like, man, I can't breathe. And that's not fun.
Digital burn.
It's a digital burn from my digital little device.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so glad to know that you're not huffing that shit anymore. That's
I still
good.
have it. I mean, I huff it probably like once every 5 days.
Okay. Okay. Not so bad. Not so
But it
bad.
just like it's not the same, you know. Like now, what I do have, I still mess around with nicotine. They're like little pouches.
Okay.
You put it
Okay.
in your lip. It's like almost like chew, but you don't spit it. You just get rid
Okay.
of it when you're done.
It's a
Um,
pouch.
it's a
The
pouch,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just and even that, like you know, like just constantly putting it in your mouth, you know, like and constantly getting that fix. So I'm working on just trying to go throughout my day and going as long as I can without needing it. And really, what the best thing was is breaking the habit of smoking. Needed to go outside.
Is it the physical thing? I've heard a lot
Oh,
of people.
definitely. The
Yeah. Okay.
sensation out of the mouth, out of the throat, you know, and all that fun
Yeah.
stuff. That was the hardest thing for me to break. But once
Whoa. The story was so amazing. It just broke his connection. It's a live show, people. Anyway, I'm really proud of Joe for knocking it off. Yeah, we'd be doing episodes of this very show, the morning after with JP and Big Joe, and we'd be like mid interview, and you can hear Joe like right into his mic, like right into his mic. There he is. Taco Tuesday.
right,
It's Monday. What are you doing with
oh,
this Taco Tuesday?
fuck. You know, this happened to
Yeah,
me last week too. That just cut out right in the middle of it.
that was weird. But you're very quick. Came right back. And I was talking about how I remember we would be doing shows and you'd be vaping, and I could hear you vape like right
Yep.
into the mic kind of thing. I'm like, what is that? Oh, Joe's doing his thing.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I'm glad.
so I think it's been about, like I said, I still have it. I still have all the stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was fucking me up, and not being able to breathe, especially in the middle of the night. Like, you know, like, dude, I'm trying to sleep, and now I have to fucking sit up and get out of bed. Like I used to not be able to bring it to bed with me. Like don't bring the vape to bed because like it fucking made my shit sore and swollen.
When you smoked cigarettes, would you ever smoke them on stage, like on places where you could, like Burnt Ron and
Definitely,
shit like that?
always.
Yeah, yeah. And when
I
you couldn't smoke on stage, would you be like really quick to like run outside and have a smoke before the you go on or after? Or
probably just because smoking and drinking went hand in hand.
yeah.
So if I was drinking, like the sensation of smoking was awesome. So if you
Hmm.
couldn't find me, I was most likely outside chatting to some guy about metal and smoking a cigarette.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. You did smoke quite a bit now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was a chimney.
Yeah. Wow. It seems so far gone now. It's like a very distant memory. I haven't physically watched you smoke a cigarette in years. Um, but wow, I'm so happy for you, man. You look great. Here, look at this. You look awesome.
I got to get back into the Warrior Room. I've been busy, but I need to. I did a session with Coach Lore a couple months back. Really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
the Warrior Room. Would love to have you. That reminds me, this episode of The Morning After with JP and Big Joe is sponsored by thewarriorroom.com. The Warrior Room does Zoom workouts remote. We also do yoga, and occasionally we do some in-person workouts. But if you're looking to, things are starting to close up again, sadly. And, if you're looking to do some self-maintenance, you want to stay in shape, you can do it from the comfort of your own home at thewarriorroom.com. Thank you for
I
reminding me,
recommend
Joe.
it. I
Yeah,
recommend it.
yeah, Joe even vouched for it. You did a couple sessions, but we need to get you back in there.
I want to get back in there.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, we'd love you back in there. And
I'd love to be back in there. Oh, never mind.
what else we got going on? Any news happening? I was on Blabbermouth this morning, not necessarily for a "Is this really news?" segment. Of course, I'm always looking for "Is there really news? Is that really news?" segments. But this was kind of funny. I saw this story. We'll just go over this real quick. Let's go. Dominic, put that up. There we go. This I love. Watch Megadeth play sold-out concert in David Ellefson's hometown.
Ha!
Ouch, right?
That's a slap to the face or a slap to the base.
A slap to the face. Like, whoever wrote that headline, just, they knew what they were doing.
Oh
They knew
yeah,
what they were doing. Because of course, because it was like Phoenix.
yeah. Hey,
Uh,
internet people are cheeky, but you know what? David
yeah.
Ellison probably deserves it.
It's just so funny because Megadeth was gonna play Phoenix, right? It's not like they were like, oh, let's hit his hometown of bumfuck Arizona. No, it's Phoenix.
Well,
Of course they're gonna go to Phoenix.
the tour was already scheduled, man.
Yeah. And what are they gonna tiptoe around the United States to avoid places that Dave Ellefson's been? I just thought it
Or
was
people that don't like Dave.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I just thought this headline was so funny. Watch Megadeth play sold-out concert in David Ellefson's hometown. Oh, there's a lot of different opinions going on about David Ellefson's release from Megadeth. If you don't know, he some sexually explicit videos got leaked. That's as specific as I'm going to be about that. But he got fired from Megadeth because of those sexually explicit videos, and a lot of people are like, "Yo, fuck cancel culture." And on the other side of the coin, it's a Megadeth is sort of it's a big band, almost a brand, I'll say.
Definitely.
So can you still be a big band or brand while having the jizzy guy on stage next to you?
Not now. Like,
Right.
watch another 20 years, we'll go down. He'll be back. But yeah, they probably said, "Hey, man, we're gonna." No, like
No,
you can't.
no. You can't.
Cancel culture or not, you know, like you lose your job over that shit. You know, like that's one thing. Maybe even older people don't understand about the internet. What you put out there is out there.
Exactly.
Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't had the internet my whole life, but I definitely know not to do shit like that.
Right. You know, I mean, it definitely seemed like, okay, he's an older guy, but he's not like a grandpa. He knows how to work a phone clearly. You know, it's like, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. And people are so mad at Dave. They're like, yo, Dave Mustaine's a dick for letting him go. I'm like, yo, I think he did what he had to do. I don't think he wanted to be on stage next to the Jizzy guy.
Well, and you know, also they were saying that Junior was grooming her because they met when she was 17.
There's definitely that. I mean, he's been exonerated because, well, you know, the girl herself has come out and said, I was not underage when those videos were made, which is great. But as you said, there was talk of grooming because they met when she was a 17, you said?
Yeah, wherever she's from.
The whole thing is weird. The whole thing's, it'd be enough for me to kick him out of the band personally. You can't, just like you said, you just can't.
They probably wouldn't have sold out shows. I mean, it's probably half cancel culture and you know
Mm-hmm.
just the internet's such a powerful thing right now, especially with misinformation. Just
Yeah.
even the accusation of that, even if it wasn't real, he's probably still would have got let go.
Yeah, that is kind of a touchy subject because, as you said, even sometimes now, even just accusations are enough.
Right? That could ruin your career. That's why you don't fuck around.
Just don't fuck around. Keep your nose clean. Don't
Right?
don't
He
jizz
should have
on
been keeping
camera.
his nose clean. He was married for what, like 30 plus years, and he had his own church.
Really?
Yeah, he's for like what the past 15. I think Mustaine too. Like they're pastors.
Wow. See, I know that Dave has found God. I figured Junior had too, but I didn't know that they went that far into it.
I don't know if Dave Mustaine has his own church, but Elvison definitely you know, like it was like it's branded Megadeth too. It's like Mega something.
No, mega church.
Yeah, right?
That's fucking awesome. Now I'll go to church. Fuck yeah.
Right?
Mega church. Hey JP, are you going to Megadeth on Wednesday? No. No. Is that real? Are they playing on Wednesday? Oh, they must, right? Because
They're coming up here soon.
yeah, they just hit Phoenix. No, I'm not going to any concerts. I just don't feel comfortable around big groups right now. I just went to a baseball game like earlier in the month, and it was fine. It wasn't super packed, and I had my mask on, and I'm vaxxed up and everything, but I just felt a little weird being around that big of group of people right now. So I'm definitely not going to any shows anytime soon. Are you going? I'm. Be careful out there, and have fun. Megadeth. Who's Megadeth playing with? Do we
What
know?
Lamb of God and a couple other bands.
Oh yeah, it said right there on the article. Lamb of God, Trivium, and Hatebreed.
And it's just bands that I never really got. You know, I like that first Lamb of God album, but that was also when you know, early on when my source for metal was MTV. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have the internet. I didn't have any friends that were in the metal at the time, or I didn't have an older sibling
Mhm.
to do that. You know, because even Jaden, with all the things that I listen to, there's certain things that he won't listen to. Like, no, I don't like this, and then he throws on Motorhead, or
Mhm.
you know, like
What doesn't he like? Can you?
just different things. Like Chance. I was driving with Chance the other day, my other son. Not the other day, but a little while ago, and you know, we had a Spotify radio go on, and something fast and chaotic and new metal came on, and goes, "Wow, I really like that." I go,
Oh,
"Okay." Well, we went to the record store, and I found the first Slipknot album. And I go, "Chance, I think you might dig this." You know, like if you're saying that, I think it was Snot, that band Snot.
okay.
And I was like, if you dig that, you probably might dig this, you know, because he's been listening to metal too, but it's, you know, probably whatever you can find on YouTube.
Mhm.
And so I remember Chance like digging it, and Jaden's going like, nah, this isn't it, you know. But it's also my influence of, you know, I mean, Jaden the other day, I heard him talking to a friend on the internet. I might have mentioned this before, but he was going like, man, you have to be really creative people if you could put out an album every year like how Motorhead did. They must have been really smart and creative. And I go,
Yeah.
damn, that's like something super like for him just to acknowledge that, like that's
young man is learning.
pretty good.
I love it. Look at that. Yeah, I think we did talk about that. You probably felt pretty damn proud.
I was definitely proud. I'll probably bring it up next week. Forgetting.
Yeah,
That's my mind how it works. Sorry,
I'm okay
man.
with that. It's a big moment.
It is this
Yeah.
magic moment.
Mm.
Mm.
It's outdoors, so I hope it's not that bad, but definitely going to be masked the whole show, says Ruben. Outdoors, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just not there yet. One day I will, and I hope everyone has fun and stays safe. Safe, not safe. Safe.
Safe.
That just came out.
Homo sapien.
Homo sapien. Good call. Look at you with your wordplay. Look at you. Anyway, so if you go see Megadeth this Wednesday, you're not gonna see Dave Ellefson, but we all knew that already. So have fun, everybody. Well, Joe, it's been a hell of a show. It's a Monday. It's what we do every Monday, live here, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. The Morning After with JP and Big Joe. Every Monday at 11 a.m. we do this thing live. We've got some, I know I said this last week, still working out the kinks, but we have got some special guests in the works. And there will be more information about that very soon on our various socials. Our socials, of course, you can find us on Instagram, our main social, Instagram at The Morning After TV. Facebook sucks.
Yeah.
I promote stuff on Facebook. Nobody sees it. Well, what's the point?
I don't even honestly even like the show or this show or any gigs that I have coming up. No one touches it. Like I don't even bother. Like I just don't think about it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, we're on Facebook, and you can watch us on Facebook live. There's a window right now on Facebook, and it shows us doing what we do right at this very moment in time. But Twitch is really our home. But of course, you can watch our repeat videos. I'm just saying, like so much. You can see all of our repeat videos on our YouTube. Check out The Morning After with JP and Big Joe on YouTube for all those great episodes where we've interviewed those wonderful people in the past. And anything else, Joe? What's going on with you today, buddy?
You know what? Nothing really today. It's man, no, I'm doing the it's contagious.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Damn, son. Just it's recovery day. I have the day off. I'm gonna kick it. You know who hit me up late last night was Edgar Blood because my show was in his hometown. I don't know if it's his hometown, but he hit me up and he was like, "Dude, how come you didn't tell me?" And I'm like, "I don't got your number, fool, because if I got your number, I'd probably be sober texting you at all hours of the night."
That would have been so cool.
I know. I actually thought he was going to be there.
We could have shared the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that would have been great. Oh, well, you got to be there when he does his gig, whenever that.
I can't wait, dude. I'm a big fan of Edgar Blood.
Yeah, Edgar Blood. Everybody, check out the episode of The Morning After with JP and Big Joe with Edgar Blood. I think it was episode 27 or 26.
Thinking 27.
It was a great conversation.
I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, I know. That bummed me out.
It bummed me out too, man.
Yeah. I learned a lot about one-man bands.
Because you're doing a one-man show.
I was doing a one-man show. That's right. I was pretty nervous about that, I remember. And another thing, too, I had never met Edgar Blood before that interview. And I was like, what can we talk about? Because, I mean, we're going to talk about one-man band stuff. I was like, I'll bring up some one-man band videos, and we'll watch them, and we'll get his opinion on it. And then I realized, like, it's such a pedestrian way to go about this interview. And I could tell by his vibe that he's probably been asked those things so many times. So I just skipped it. I had all these like videos like lined up here that I was going to show him. And then as the interview went on, I was like, I think it seemed like more and more of a bad idea. So I just scrapped it. And then we just talked about other stuff. And he told me a lot of his one-man band influences.
Awesome. I almost think that'd be like asking a music critic to read other people's reviews on albums, like, what do you think of this review? Like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like,
spot on, man. Spot on. And that's exactly why I scrapped it. So I'm proud of myself for showing.
That's why you're the man.
there. Yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. And appreciate the kind words, Ruben. Good show, guys. Made work a bit more tolerable on this Monday. That's the point. Yes. Put us on in the background while you're at work. That's the point. Thank you. It is Monday. Just get through the day. Take an hour and a half to listen to JP and Big Joe. As I said, we will have plenty of special guests to make these episodes even more interesting. But man, I could just chat with Big Joe all day about random things. So this is fun for me. But it's not just about me, is it?
Well, it's not.
No, it's not. It's about you and me.
Oh,
It's about us. It's about trust. Okay?
friends, how many of you had them?
All right, guys. That's going to be enough. For Big Joe, this is JP. Thanks for joining us on the morning after with JP and Big Joe. You can check us out every Monday at 11 a.m. live right here, twitch.tv/YoungPopeTV. And until next week, we'll see you later. And sometimes we say love, peace, and chicken grease. Bye, guys.